Hey, y'all. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to be here. This is the Intentional Living Podcast with SonjaW, and I am back to assist you with starting off your week with a little less chaos. Okay, y'all. So I am finally back to going live on my channels. And I am so excited because, man, I missed y'all. So if you've been with me and you've been on this intentional living journey with me, you know that I had pre recorded several of my podcasts, even though I love to be live with you, right? I pre recorded some of them because one, I was with my church in their 21 days of prayer, and I did not want to miss any of that. Okay. And then two, I had 2 weekends where I was going to be outside, and I knew that there was no way that I was going to do this podcast live when I'm outside. Okay. So I am so excited to be back going live. And of course, I am like trying to remember all the things that I do when I go live. Well, first of all, I forgot to post a reminder. So hopefully people come today. But if not, I'm going to see all of y'all, the regular folks, on the replay. And I'm excited to see y'all there. Make sure that you comment replay if you catch me on the replay. Or if you see this or hear this, excuse me, on any place where you have podcasts, let me know that that's how you found me, okay? I would love to know where my audience is coming from. But anyway, y'all, I'm super excited because we are back to do those things that we do every single week. We're going to talk about the good things. You know, I used to say one good thing, but I could never have one good thing. And frankly, I think that you guys should have more than one good thing every week that you're remembering and thinking about for the week ahead, okay? So we just gonna call it the good things, right? And then we're gonna talk about what's on the docket, because the whole point to this podcast is to get you together, to get you focused so that you can build out the week that you want to see happen. I truly believe that if you plan well, you are going to see success, okay? And one thing in doing that is actually doing a weekly review, actually paying attention to what you need to do this week, writing it down, making sure that you can plan out your days and your weeks accordingly. And this is what this podcast is for. So we're going to talk about what's on the docket for me. And if you're here on the replay or you're here live with me, let me know in the comments what's on your docket. What do you got to get done? What do you got to make sure you fit in to your calendar? And then we're going to talk about the intentional topic of the week. I don't want to just talk about, just making sure that we got our reviews done and moving on. I want to also build you up to be able to be intentional with every part of your life. And this week, let me tell you, we've been talking about programmed focus, but I wanted to take a break on this to actually give a little revelation that I had. And that's one thing, to how to recognize when you need to level up. Okay. Let me tell you, I'm going to get into it later. I'm going to talk about all the things later. Oh, and then of course we end off with prayer, because listen, we got to seal everything with prayer. Prayer, and I hate the saying, but I say it all the time, prayer changes things, but it really does, right? The Bible talks about how God hears our prayers and answers. He hears our cries and answers. So we need to cry out. We need to pray. So we're going to close this all out with prayer as usual, and then we're going to move on and get our day done. Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit more about how crazy and chaotic my day, my couple of weeks have been, but I wanted to talk about how to recognize when to level up, because I even realized that in myself, and I do it regularly, like when things start to get crazy, because even in an intentional life, life gets crazy. Okay. Even in an intentional life, even in a life where you have all of the plans, where you have all of the details written down, you got your planner, you got all the things, life still gets crazy. So what do you do? And I want to talk about this because it's so important to understand that you may have the best laid out plans, but life is still going to be crazy sometimes. And you have to have the right tools to come back and focus in again. So we're going to talk about how to recognize it this week. And then next week, we're going to talk about, well, what do you do about it when you realize that you have to level up. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And we'll talk about how crazy my life has been together. And I'll let you know how I realized all of those things today. All right. So let's get into the good things. I think I really am going to change it to the good things. What are y'all like? What do you think? Tell me in the comments. It used to be one good thing, but I could never have one good thing. So I was just going to call it the good things, because as I talk about it all the time, is that when you recognize and remember the good that has happened, it makes it easier for you to walk into another day. It makes it easier for you to walk into another week, because you know that you made it through the last week and it wasn't that bad. So that's the real reason why we talk about those good things. Hey, welcome. I see you on here. Thanks for coming. Because listen, child, I forgot to do my reminder. We got some folks in the building and I'm excited. So, anyway, my good things. One, I hung out with family last weekend. It was so much fun. We had some crabs. Now, if you know me, you know I'm from Maryland, so I'm supposed to enjoy crabs and picking crabs and all that kind of stuff. And I don't. I know it's blasphemy. I'm so sorry to all of the folks who live and were born in Maryland, specifically Baltimore, because I I don't like picking crabs. I love crab, but I get so tired and so bored with it so quickly. So please don't shame me. Please don't shame me. I'm ashamed of myself. But anyway, we had some crabs, had a good time, and then after that, I celebrated my friend's birthday all throughout the weekend. Went to church and then went down into DC. Had a blast at the wharf for Labor Day weekend. So I had a whole lot of stuff going on, but it was a good week. And then finally, something really cool. So I don't really talk too much about what I do in my 9 to 5, but I work in the public health field, and it's super exciting work that I get to do and lead. And one other good thing that happened is that a paper that me and some colleagues were working on actually got accepted. It got accepted to survey practice. So I'm super excited for that to come out. Don't know when the date is for that, but that's always exciting to have a new article under my belt. So if you're catching the podcast, the audio podcast, I just did a little smile, and anyway. So I'm super excited about all that. So then what is on the docket for me? What's on the docket for y'all? As we talked about earlier in the intro, is that it's so important to really pay attention to what you have in your calendar, because the whole point to intentional living is that you take time to plan. You take time to actually look at what's coming up and make sure that your life can align with what you need to do, right? That you got all your appointments together. You know that there's certain things that you want to get done. So you're going to have to figure out where to plug them in your life, right? This is the type of thing that intentional living is. It's not some cure all or perfect life, but it is a planned life. It is a life that is full of fun, cuz I have fun, but I plan for that fun, right? So always thinking about what is on the docket. So, what's on the docket for you this week? What do you need to get done? What is in the plans for where you're going this week? For me, I'm getting my life together. We're going to talk about we're going to talk about recognizing how to level up today. So my focus is going to be getting my life together, okay? Because y'all, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. I told you I was outside all weekend, last weekend, right? And then the week before that, because I was trying to figure out, like, well, why was my life so chaotic these past couple of weeks? Like, I still did my weekly reviews, I still, did all the things, but like, I realized I was outside weekends in a row. I was in another state for a conference for work 2 weeks ago, and then last weekend I was having fun. And then also I don't know if I talked about it, but and I'll get into it in the intentional topic, but I got a new position, so that's exciting, but it's also a lot of work. So this is where this podcast topic came up with. Okay, this is where the intentional topic of the week came up. Because I realized I can recognize these things without even thinking about it, right? But how do you recognize them in your own life? We're going to talk about that. So And then also what's on the docket for me is that I'm going to continue to be writing my devotional. Super excited about it. I'm really trying to get it done this year. And then I opened up my phone to see what else I got. And I got a couple of meetings in the evenings and just different things. So I'm going to be planning for that. Oh, I almost forgot. And then my little nephew, my boy, he is having a birthday party. So I'm going to be partying with the little kids this weekend. So I got a lot going on that's going to be good and I'm excited, right? And I want you to be just as excited about what's to come in your own life. So take a moment, pay attention to what's going on, what's in your calendar, what should be in your calendar, okay? What should be in your calendar. All right. And make sure that you plug that stuff in. Make sure that you're doing your weekly review. All right, y'all. So let us get into this intentional topic of the week. Okay. Listen, we're going to talk about how to recognize when you need to level up. Oh, something just went in my eye. There we go. Look, this is live, okay? You're going to get all of the things. Anyway, so we're going to talk about how to recognize when you need to level up your systems, level up your area and the things that you have going on, okay? So listen, it has been a crazy couple of weeks for me. And I realized that I was going crazy, that I had so many different things happening and I wasn't my usual like self. And I felt off, but I couldn't really figure it out. And then I realized and I recognized the different telltale signs of me needing to make some adjustments to how I live my life. And I want to break down some of those things for you, how I recognized it so that you can recognize it in your own life. So let me tell you, I got this new position, really excited about it. It is a promotion for me, meaning, so I'm in the same, and I'm also in the same division. So that means, yes, I am promoted. Great. Awesome. Wonderful. And this promotion is actually leading the team that I used to lead and two other teams. So awesome. Great. Right. But because I got a promotion, my old position is still empty. So I'm acting team lead for that position and also the position that I'm in now, branch chief. So I'm doing two jobs. Okay. Pray for your girl. Pray that we can get somebody hired into my position immediately. But anyway, my old position. But anyway, besides that, I hope you are praying, people. So make sure you pray. But besides that, trying to juggle all of the tasks that I'm learning and then also juggling the work that I always did has gotten me a little discombobulated. And then I traveled for work and then I had time hanging out with friends for her birthday, and then just life in general, doing all the things that I typically normally do. And I started to realize that there was some things that were off, right? And I had to make some changes or am making some changes. We're going to talk about that. Y'all, we on this intentional living journey together, okay? So we're going to talk about that part next week, how I'm going to get leveled up. But this week, I'm going to talk about the recognizing of the need. So, a couple of things that I did because I was living on autopilot and I wanted to make sure that I got up out of that and I did. So, here's a couple of things that, or actually three things that I realized and that made me realize that I needed to level up. One, I was working late. I'm a person who takes pride in making sure that I am focused in my 8 or 9 hour days because listen, I take 9 hour days so that I can have a half day on Friday. Okay. Let me tell you, it's great time. Anyway, but I was realizing that every day I was working past or earlier than my typical work day. And I do that from time to time. That's normal, right? Sometimes you got a project that you got to get done, so you do it a couple of times. Or sometimes you're trying to earn. For me, I can earn what they call credit hours, so that I can bank some extra hours to vacate when I need to. Okay, so I do that from time to time. I plan that out. I say, all right, I'm going to work late on Tuesday because I know I got something coming up, and I want to be able to get off early some other day, right? Well, I started realizing that I was working late every day. And I wasn't working late because I was working so hard throughout the day, but honestly, some of that time I was wasting during the workday. So number one, working late. So if you start to recognize that you're working late all the time, or maybe you're working on something past your bedtime, past whatever, perhaps it's time to level up your systems. Okay. The second thing that I started to recognize was that I was becoming forgetful. Matter of fact, that actually even scared me a little bit. Friday, I was talking to my boss's boss about something, and I brought up a topic that for all intents and purposes was new to me. And then my boss's boss replied to me and said, "Yeah, we talked about this." And I said, "We talked about this." Oh, wow. Wow. So I'm becoming forgetful about different conversations that I've had, different things that I have done. There was a couple other instances where I had to review certain things and I thought I reviewed them and I didn't, or I didn't think I reviewed them, but I did. So I realized, I said, hold on, something is off. Maybe I'm not using my systems the way that I need to. Maybe it's time to level up or be even more intentional with my clarifying steps. So like clarifying what I need to do, the processing steps, actually paying attention to what I need to process and write down. Maybe I need to level up. So the same for you. Are you forgetful in things that you should be already on? And then for me, extreme tiredness. And not just bodily, but like mind tiredness. Like so I am an avid reader, and I realized an avid reader of like nonfiction. I read fiction a lot as well, but I love leadership books. And I love Christian I don't know what to call them, books that kind of build you in your faith and build you in understanding Christianity. Like I am a nerd, right? And I'm a nerd in every area. I'm a public health nerd, but I'm also a nerd in Christianity. I'm always studying and always trying to understand more about the history of the practice that I have. And I'm always learning on how to build in leadership. But y'all, I can't tell you the last time I actually read or listened to a leadership book. Can you believe that? So I realized that I was really, really mind tired, or tired, had a tired mind. I don't know how to say that, but I realized that was a third thing that actually made me realize that I needed to level up in my systems and the things that I do. So, are you tired? Are you more tired than usual, even when you get enough sleep? Are you not doing things that you typically or usually do? Right? Maybe you're an avid reader like me and you haven't been reading the types of books that you're typically used to. So, it might be time to level up in your systems. Another bonus one is that your house gets messy. Okay, y'all, let me tell you. So I told you I've been traveling like 2 weekends back to back and like all the things, right? And I was looking in my office and I was looking in my bedroom and I said, oh no, this is not, it's a little messy in here. And I don't like mess. I really don't like clutter, don't like any of the things. So I realized that again, it was time to level up my systems. So I encourage you, pay attention to your environment. What's happening within you and within the things around you? Is it time to maybe hunker down on your systems, maybe come back and start looking at those to-do lists a little bit more? Do I need to build in more time to think through processes and things like that? We'll talk about that next week on what to do now that you recognize that you need to level up. But I just wanted to open up your eyes to see that one, you don't have to live in chaos. You do not. Perhaps it's time to level up. Perhaps it's time to level up your systems, level up your work, level up everything, right? Recognize the symptoms and get to work. Next week, we're going to talk about what to do. All right. So, let us get into that last thing of the week, or last thing of the podcast, which is the Dreamboost Prayer. Again, we got to seal all of this up with prayer. Now that we recognize that we need to level up, let's ask the Lord to help us level up. All right, let's go. Lord, help us to recognize when we need to level up in our work and in our life. You desire us to go from glory to glory to glory. So help us recognize when we are stuck and show us the path moving forward. All right, y'all. Well, it has been fun. I am super excited that I am back. Catch me next week. There'll be a reminder for you. Uh, where we talk about, well, now that we know that we need to level up, what can we do to make it happen? All right, y'all. Bye.